Welcome to Satan is My Superhero.
We interrupt this program with an emergency broadcast.
If you're hearing my voice right now, something has gone horribly wrong. We must have failed to meet our deadlines this week, so I'm giving you an episode from the Patreon. If you are a patron and you're like,
oh man, now I don't get a fresh new episode that I haven't already heard.
Don't worry about it. There will be a replacement episode going up on the Patreon the same day as this one releases. So it's all good. Everyone's happy. I don't know what went wrong because I recorded this months ago. This is my just-in-case emergency broadcast, and the just-in-case has happened, so here we are. And let's hope the reason you're hearing my voice now is not because I'm dead. Please enjoy an episode from the Patreon.
Satan.
Welcome to exclusive patron-only content.
In this episode, we're going to mine for comedy gold in the tragic stories of a dozen people screwed over by 19th century bad boy poet, Lord Byron.
Bad boy poet? Can you even hear yourself?
If you don't know who Lord Byron is, we do a biography of the man in a sister episode called Lord Byron, Satanic Spirit of Pride. If you don't have time to listen to that episode, here it is at 100 times speed.
Welcome to Satan is My Superhero. Whoa, stop. There's a trigger warning. What is it a trigger warning for? Everything. It's a trigger warning for all the things. On with the show. There's something in that family that's not right. Oh no, my crickets have got loose. No, don't have sex with me. Not me. Oh, the humanity. And then Amber Heard was shitting his bed and now, well, I just don't know.
Not the last time this guy looked like a dickhead.
I don't need money. I'm wealthy. As long as they all play cricket, no one will ever want to have sex with any of them. Oh, good Lord. Give me a moment while I regather myself. I see the problem. You have too much blood. Just let him dominate you without resistance and it will all be over soon.
The men are just wondering why older uniforms are crotchless.
Forget about it. I don't want to Julia now. You've made it weird.
So as you just heard in that biography, little Lord Byron was born with what has been described as a club foot. Byron would always blame his poor mother Catherine Gordon for this impairment. He claimed it was caused by her wearing corsets during pregnancy.
I think your corset is too tight.
Why would you say that?
I can see the outline of a baby in your throat.
Byron had a complicated relationship with his mother, it would seem.
Here's a sample of just one of many letters in which he wondered why he should
call this woman mother, because by nature's law she has authority over me.
You're not the boss of me.
He also had a complicated relationship with his nursemaid, May Gray. Gray sexually abused the boy while rebuking him for not being a good Christian.
That tracks.
Byron's first love, or at least the first he wrote profuse amounts of poetry about, was his cousin Mary Chaworth. You may recognise the name Chaworth from the fantastic Lord Byron Satanic Spirit of Pride episode you just listened to.
Love you, gratuitous back catalogue plug. Gratuitous back catalogue plug.
William Chaworth was the dude the devil Byron ran through with his sword in a dark, dingy inn.
Well, Your Honour, we were having a perfectly normal and civilized disagreement about game hunting, when out of the blue my cousin and neighbour William Chaworth said something about the king. So I was compelled, nay, forced by our Lord who art in heaven himself, to run the despicable man through with my sword.
You get him, Baron.
My only regret is that blighter dying prevented me from doing it again.
You're the best 5th Baron Byron, who I've never met before.
You've done this nation a great service, Baron Byron. I don't know how we can possibly thank you.
I'm totally not being paid to be here.
Don't mention it. The pleasure was all mine.
So the Byron family have been marrying and murdering the Chaworth family for generations. They have a very vampire-familiar type of relationship.
It's more like hunter and prey.
Mary Chaworth was a couple of years older than Byron, and it was the 19th century, so...
I'm like 14. Of course I'm already engaged to be married.
Later in life, Byron claimed he would have been a different person if he had married Mary.
That's bullshit.
After being a heartbroken, gloomy, melodramatic teen for a few years,
Yes, Byron also invented that.
the young lord blossomed into fame and fortune in his early 20s.
I've hit the fucking jackpot.
The The handsome young Byron was pursued by one Lady Caroline Lamb. Lamb wrote to Byron and arranged to meet him.
Dear Lord Byron, your poetry touches me in a way that only a pasty-faced private schoolboy can.
Lamb was so enthralled by the charming Byron she uttered the forever greatest quote ever.
Mad, bad, and dangerous to know.
In an attempt to impress Byron, Lamb sent him some of her pubic hair. Apparently she clipped so close to the skin that the pubes arrived with dry blood on them.
Gross.
It does make you re-evaluate your opinion to the reactionary puritanism of the Victorians when you realise these people were their parents.
They then had a volatile affair that resulted in Caroline losing her mind, chasing Byron all over town, making public scenes, embarrassing her husband and burning an effigy of Byron in a giant bonfire.
Are you ready to throw the effigy on the fire, milady?
Yes. Burn the bastard. Oh my God, he's on fire!
Oh yes, that was the plan. Don't worry, he's not real.
Oh, someone please at least save the penis!
Fun fact, Lamb brought such disgrace on the family, she got herself exiled to Ireland.
To be sure, milady. You see, you fought around and now you're finding out. To be sure, milady. That's your Irish line every time.
The Irish are the last people we could be racist to!
I don't know if that's true.
What happens to comedy when we can't be racist to anyone? She then doubled down on the woman scorned motif and wrote a fictional novel about a perfectly lovely lady being seduced and heartbroken by a rakishly handsome rogue.
In the spring of 18-something or other, the very beautiful, but not in a way that makes her friends hate her kind of way, Maidie Marilyn Mom was going about her usual daily routine of saving orphans from house fires, when suddenly she met the evil Maud Myron.
Byron then began an affair with a close friend of Lamb's, the Lady Oxford. Byron dedicated the first 2 cantos of his breakthrough poem, Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, to the Lady Oxford's 11-year-old daughter, Lady Charlotte Bacon.
Oh, cool. Nothing weird about that.
Nothing to see here.
As well as introducing Byron to Oxford, the mad, bad and dangerous to know Caroline Lamb also introduced him to her cousin Anne Isabella Milbank, 11th Baroness Wentworth.
I'm highly educated in classical literature, philosophy, science, and mathematics.
Are you a geek or are you a nerd like me? Are you everything that I can't be? You gotta be just right to be the right bitch for me. I say you gotta be just right to be the right bitch for me.
Known as Annabella to her friends, she would go on to do grown-up stuff like found England's first industrial school, work on prison reform and make a name for herself in the anti-slavery movement.
I say you gotta be just right to be the right bitch for me.
I'm what would happen if Jane Austen created a superhero.
You gotta be just right to be the right bitch for me.
But somehow, before going on to greatness, Annabella married Byron. Our Byron, the Lord Byron we've been talking about this whole time. Annabella, Princess of Parallelograms, as he will dub her later, married Lord Byron.
Serious question. Annabella, and you have to tell the truth. Did you bump your head? How many fingers am I holding up?
So it's probably a good time to drop another lady into the picture right here. Byron had a half-sister, Augusta Leigh, who he was totally having a sexual relationship with.
Gross.
I don't know if this helps or not, but they did not grow up together.
That's known as the Alabama defense.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a Byron.
Whoa. Are we related?
That's hot.
On their wedding night, Byron sent Annabella to sleep alone in the guest room while he and Augusta Leigh stayed in the master suite, playing cards, I imagine.
I'm your sister!
Oh, you're my sister.
It is believed Augusta Leigh's third child, Elizabeth Medora, is Byron's. He even wrote about it in letters.
Dear Geoffrey, I may be the father of my half-sister's child. Yours sincerely, Byron. P.S. Send pubic hair, you dirty rascal you. P.P.S. I don't have a problem, you have a problem.
As a teenager, Elizabeth Medora eloped to France with her older sister's husband.
Not conclusive, but definitely a tick in the box labelled, could be Byron's kid.
Anyway, back to Byron, post-wedding night.
Oh, you're my sister.
Over the next 12 months, Annabella gave birth to a daughter they named Augusta, after Byron's sister with benefits. Byron was a philandering, abusive shit, and Annabella left him.
Hang on, she did what?
That's right, after just 1 year of marriage, Annabella contacted a lawyer and started legal separation proceedings in 1816.
I say you gotta be just right to be the right bitch for me.
In official legal documents, she laid out a litany of violent sexual abuse, his incestuous affair with his sister, and his, at the time, illegal homosexual relationships.
As your lawyer, I must inform you it will be impossible to retain custody of the child unless we can dig up some dirt on your husband.
He abused me physically, mentally, and sexually.
It's the 19th century. No one cares.
He's having an affair with his own sister.
If you don't have any dirt, just say so.
He also has sex with men.
The filthy rotter, he'll hang.
At least she's not got the Irish accent.
Terrified of the potential sodomy charges, Byron left old Blighty, never to return.
See ya, wouldn't wanna be ya.
I thought it might be nice to get a real sense of the man's odour if we read from one of the letters Byron sent to Annabella after the separation.
Were you then never happy with me? Did you never at any time or times express yourself so? Have no marks of affection of the warmest, of most reciprocal attachment passed between us? Do not mistake me. I have not denied my state of mind, but you know its causes. And were those deviations from calmness never followed by acknowledgment and repentance?
If you've ever had experience with domestic violence, I think you could recognise some tropes in that letter.
He said he was sorry.
Annabella then raised their daughter all by herself. Famously afraid little Augusta might develop some of her father's insanity if she went anywhere near the arts, Annabella turned her daughter towards mathematics.
Oh, Mummy, can I have a dolly like the other girls?
Oh, you would love that, wouldn't you, you little freak? Having a naked doll in the house?
Okay, it can have clothes, I don't care.
You get an abacus, weirdo.
You might better know Augusta Byron today by her middle name, Ada, and her husband's title, Lovelace.
Imagine if Forrest Gump's kid could do more than just see dead people.
Ada Lovelace grew up to be an amazing mathematician who invented computer code in the 19th century.
What are we meant to do with this?
Sadly, Lovelace would spend her short life
Spoiler alert!
obsessing about the father she never met.
She's lucky she never met him.
Ada married a Lord Byron superfan. Her husband, William King-Noel, 1st Earl of Lovelace, had a portrait done of himself dressed and posing as his dead father-in-law, Lord Byron.
That's a bit weird.
I love you, Lord Byron. I mean, Ada.
He named all of the pastures on his property after Byron poems.
I say, peasant, how about you move the herd out of Ode to a Lady whose lover was killed by a ball which at the same time shivered a portrait next to his heart, and into Sonnet on the Nuptials of the Marquis Antonio Cavalli and the Countess Clelia Rasponi of Ravenna.
How about you shut the fuck up and get back inside your big house?
That's fair. Clelia?
I have no idea.
Clelia. I'll say Clelia Rasponi.
Okay. Ravenna?
Okay.
Ravenna's the easy one.
Ravenna's the Clelia Rasponi.
They then named their 3 children, Byron, Anne Isabella, and Ralph Gordon.
Byron, Anne Isabella, Ralph Gordon.
What?
What?
Nothing, I just like calling out your names. I love your names so much.
And us too, right?
Okay, good night.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Ada was so obsessed with her dad, she even died at 36 with gambling debts and blackmail threats hanging over her head.
By this time, it's just a contractual obligation to being a Byron.
Ada was buried next to her father, which is really sad and beautiful, and then you remember who Byron is.
Get that woman's body out of the ground. She's not safe there.
Back in 1816, there is a 2.5-month window between Annabella leaving him and Byron fleeing the country. In that time, he shacked up with Mary Shelley's 17-year-old half-sister, Clara Mary Jane Clairmont, known as Claire, and got her pregnant.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lord Byron. Congratulations, we've just had sex.
What?
Claire gave birth to a daughter, Alba. Penniless and destitute, teenage Claire sent infant Alba to Europe to be with her allegedly wealthier father.
Did you bring a wallet? All my cash is tied up in crypto right now.
Byron agreed to take the child on the conditions that Claire disappeared from everyone's life, and he changed Alba's name to Clara Allegra.
I'd like to change my daughter's name. Certainly. We have some paperwork to fill out. Question 1. Reason for name change? Because I'm a controlling arsehole.
In a letter to his half-sister with benefits, Augusta Leigh, Byron wrote of his second daughter.
She is very pretty, remarkably intelligent. She has very blue eyes, that singular forehead, fair curly hair, and a devil of a spirit, but that is Papa's.
Obviously, it goes without saying, Byron was never going to take care of this child, and little Clara Allegra was bounced around from household to household. One year she lived with 4 different families.
Who's at the door, dear?
Oh, fucking Byron has dumped his fucking kid on our doorstep again.
I don't know why my baby can't sleep at night. He doesn't know why his baby can't sleep at night. I don't know why my baby can't sleep at night. He doesn't know why his baby can't sleep.
During this time, Percy and Mary Shelley were interested in taking their half-niece in and raising her, but Byron did not want his daughter raised by atheists.
Because of course Byron pretended to believe in Jesus. Of course he did.
So finally, Clara Allegra ended up in an Italian convent. Percy Shelley visited the 5-year-old and did not like what he saw. He wrote back to England complaining she looked pale.
Even for a Byron, she looks pale. Thank God, man. She must be alabaster white.
Clara Allegra's mum, Claire, tried to initiate a plan to kidnap her daughter, but Percy refused to go along with it.
No, I don't want to upset Byron. He can be very mean.
And then sadly, a month later, the poor abandoned little girl died, and Byron could use his grief to write more poetry and seduce more ladies.
Oh, I'm such a sad and tragic hero. One might even call me a Byronic hero.
Oh, bravo! Smashing old chap.
Marvellous, darling.
Percy, on the other hand, had actual grief and famously reported being haunted by a vision of the dead girl rising from the sea and beckoning to him. 3 months after that, Shelley drowned.
Irony.
Byron's last affair of note was with an Italian noblewoman, Teresa Contessa Guiccioli. 18-year-old Teresa met Byron just 3 days after her wedding to the elderly Count Alessandro Guiccioli.
I think the 18-year-old hottie is genuinely into me.
Teresa also sent Byron pubes in the mail.
Excuse me, Lord Byron. The mailman has quit, and he said you would know why.
That's fair. He gave me plenty of warnings. To show no hard feelings, give him this.
It's pubes, isn't it?
The whole affair got so out of hand, the Austrian Empire did a deal to let Teresa's treasonous dad out of exile in exchange for dumping Byron. Such is the power of this dude's sex life, it had implications on the affairs of state.
No, seriously, she's totally into me. Make her come back, you'll see.
While Byron would go off and die shitting himself to death, Teresa carried on the party into her 70s. She is Countess G in the Alexander Dumas novel, The Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay, I'll let you into my party on one condition. I get a cameo in your next novel.
When the original Wild Child finally did go to the big party in the sky, her family thought it best to not publish her memoir. They kept it and her diaries locked away until 2005.
I'm okay. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm okay. Everything's fine.
What's wrong with Millie?
She accidentally read her great-grandmother's diary.
What can we take away from the women Byron screwed?
Ooh, that did not sound right. You should really read these things out aloud before recording.
If Byron were around today, he would be Me Too'd in 30 seconds. He's a sexual predator, a pedophile, an abusive husband and negligent father. He was mad in the way Charles Manson was mad. He was bad in the way Michael Jackson was bad. He was dangerous to know in the same way it's dangerous to know a rapist.
If Byron were alive today, he would be the Republican Party's presidential nominee.
And that's why Satan is my superhero.
We hope you enjoyed this exclusive content. Thank you for your support. You are my superhero.
To be sure, my lady. To be sure. To be sure. See my good acting there? 2 totally different whats in a row. I know. Only the best. Okay, not racist. Are we allowed to be racist to Italians? Or Italians, as my dad would say. The Italian. I get cameo in your next novel. I went Russian. Why did I go Russian? Wait, Italian. I know, don't say that. That's terrible. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's no one talks like that. Now that's what.